At the end of that time, the matter will be of no importance. At present, it is of such weight that it may have an influence upon European history.
You don't mind breaking the law?
Not in the least.
Nor running the chance of arrest?
Not in a good cause.
Oh, the cause is excellent.
Mystery is made possible by a grant from Mobile Corporation.
Good evening, and welcome to a very special night of mystery. I'm Vincent Price. In just a moment, you're going to see the first episode in a series of 7 truly classic mystery stories, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. For almost a century, Sherlock Holmes has been considered the most brilliant detective ever created in fiction. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle could have had no inkling that his Victorian consulting detective would endure and become the most revered and the most meticulously documented character in the world of mystery and crime. Now, why, you may ask, did Sherlock Holmes have almost immediate and phenomenal global appeal? Well, I think the eminent Sherlockian Edgar Smith touched upon the answer when he wrote that the stories of the great detective have the appeal of the half-remembered, half-forgotten time of smug Victorian illusion, of gaslit comfort and contentment, of perfect dignity and grace. Holmes was the epitome of the Victorian gentleman in that era when the British were a nation of peace, of work, and of consummate morals. And in a period in history when an Englishman's word was truly his bond. Mastery of science and technology, Victorians believed that they were in control of their environment, and their optimism allowed them to be wholly untouched by any concern for the long-term consequences of their material progress and empirical exploitations. In late Victorian England, people believed in order, and the world was seen as possessing a mechanistic simplicity. How right, then, was this scientifically inquisitive age for the emergence of the consulting detective Sherlock Holmes. The proud Victorian principle of applied science lent itself perfectly to Holmes's scientific method of investigation, culminating in his meticulous reason by deduction. Readers continue to clamor for Holmes as much today as they ever did. Opinion polls consistently show that tonight's episode, A Scandal in Bohemia, remains the all-time favorite. Could this be because it was the first adventure to be published in the Strand magazine in July of 1891? I think it's because in this story, and in this story only, Sherlock Holmes encounters the incomparable Irena Adler. Holmes's scientific method of detection employed his extensive knowledge of such diverse things as typefaces, perfumes, tobaccos, footprints, even tattoos. All this, as well as his knowledge of the history of crime, made Holmes, even as a university undergraduate, a man that Scotland Yard was fortunate to know, especially when Victorian London's rough and ready methods of investigation proved fruitless. I know you'll want to join me next week for one of the most popular stories, The Adventure of the Speckled Band. Until then, for Mystery, I'm Vincent Price. Good night.
Coming up next on Channel 13, Jim Lehrer and Robert McNeil anchor today's top stories, newsmaker interviews, and special reports. The McNeil-Lehrer News Hour. TV worth watching, next on Channel 13.
Mystery is made possible by a grant from Mobil Corporation.